Okay, the solo stove, it's pretty cold. I've loaded a little bit of wood in the bottom, and I got some toilet paper with Vaseline. It's cold out here tonight. It's supposed to be like 20 degrees. I believe in testing gear in adverse conditions, you know, on the back porch, because if it won't work on your back porch, it's not going to work in the backwoods. So I've got my wood pretty much set up, and I'm going to try to cook 2 drumsticks of chicken, make a little dinner out here, and we'll see how this works out. I've used this a few times already and fairly impressed. You gotta work at it. You're dealing with wood and fire and food, so you have to manage the fire as well as the food. And I might add that it is a bit windy, and these are not ideal windproof matches. So having the right matches is certainly a help. But I didn't want to dig them out of my pack, so we're going to go with what we got here. Go ahead and just stick this on there. Try to keep some of that wind out of it. You know, one of the things about this stove is it's supposed to take advantage of the secondary burn, which is basically gasification, and it seems to work. You know, I've not tried it any scientific way to measure it, but you know, some indications are that it is gasifying. You know, and I'll go over that in another video. But tonight we are just going to concentrate on cooking, because that's what it is supposed to do. In this pot, I've got 2 drumsticks, and it's pretty darn full of water. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to try to cook these things for at least 20 minutes at a boil, and then I'm going to redo this with adding something else and make a more of a meal of it. So we'll just go ahead and let her roll. Of course, I'll edit out some of the boring points. You know, one thing to keep in mind with this stove is that you really do have to tend the fire as well as the food. And you know, it takes some watching. So it's not a gas stove. You don't just set it and forget it. Let you see some indication of the gasification I don't know if you can really see it, but there's holes inside there. I'll point out in a later video. You can see where it looks like gas is coming out of it. Gasification is, once you reach about 1100 degrees, the methane and methanol will start to cook out of the wood, and you'll really boost the temperature up and makes it more efficient. 60% of the heating ability of the wood is in that secondary burn with gasification. So, but basically we're just trying to boil water, so 212 degrees. Wood burns, the combustion starts at 450. So big thing is, does it cook? Okay, we're still here. It's been about I don't know, about 10 minutes. It's 37 degrees out. Windy as can be. I'm chunking in pretty good sized chunks of wood, and I'm going to continue to do that, and hopefully I won't overload my stove. I'm sure I will by the time I get to the second part of adding what I'm going to have with the chicken. But we are about to achieve a boil, and once I achieve that boil, I want to boil it for another 15 minutes or so. So I'm just going to sit here and maintain and cook away. Hopefully my neighbors don't think I'm too crazy. Shoot, I think I'm crazy, but we don't want it publicly known. But anyways, I do want to use this weekend on a squirrel hunt. So if I bag a squirrel and I'm planning to camp, it's not supposed to be so cold this weekend. It's supposed to be 20 degrees tonight, maybe 24 tomorrow for the high. This weekend it's supposed to warm back up, so it should be much better conditions than this. So if I can make it work here, I'll feel confident out there this weekend. I've already used it a few times, rather impressed, so we're going to go with it, experiment, and see how it does. Got a boil. I've had a boil going for about, I don't know, about 4 minutes now, and we're doing pretty good. I'm fairly pleased so far. I've got a lot of water, so it took a long time for it to bring it up to boil. There's probably about 5 or 6 cups of water in there, with the chicken, and I knew it was going to take a while. It would have been better if I'd just deboned it from the get-go, but lessons learned, better on the back porch than the backwoods. Okay, we've been boiling for about 15-20 minutes, somewhere in that range. I wasn't too vigilant on the time frame. I'm going to take this in and debone the chicken and add the rest of what I intend to cook with it, and finish it off. So stick around for that, and we'll see how it turns out. Okay, got the chicken deboned, back in the water. I've got 2 cups of water in there, and the chicken's deboned, and we're going to use some rice and sauce. It's dirty rice, Cajun flavored. If you can see that, it's from Kroger's, and we'll go ahead and put that in there with the chicken, bring it back up to a boil, and we're supposed to cook it. Okay, let's see. bring it up to a boil and cook it for 7 minutes. So that should be a lot easier than cooking that chicken, I'll tell you that. Although it hasn't been too bad. I managed to fire correctly, and it's not too bad. We'll go ahead and stir that in. Get this thing back up to a boil. And you can see that chicken in there. It smells really good. So this should be a pretty good meal. Go ahead and cover it back up, bring it back up to a boil, and the fire looks like it's doing pretty good. So it's 9:05 right now, and we'll see how it goes. Give it a stir. It's been boiling for I don't know, about 2 minutes now, so another 5 minutes and we'll be eating. Okay, the rice is pretty much tender. I'm just gonna let it simmer here for another minute or two, and the fire's pretty much out. I'm not gonna add anything else to it, and once I get it to where I like it, I will let it set for about 2 or 3 minutes like the package says, and she'll be ready to eat. Okay, we'll go ahead and give her a taste test. I've let her set for a couple minutes, and I don't know if you can see that, but it looks good. And to go ahead and get a taste test on camera, and then I'm going to go ahead and eat it without you watching me eat, because that would probably not be so attractive. That is good. I believe this little stove is ready to field. I believe I said it in the beginning of the video. Test your gear. You know, if it's cooking equipment, you got to know a little bit about cooking. If you don't, you're gonna mess it up. I could give you an example. I'll probably will in a later date, but it's 34 degrees out here, and my dinner is ready. So I am gonna go ahead and close out this video. Like, subscribe, and you'll see this out in the field with me.